Hi there, this is Save with Crypto. I'm going to talk about the Maiar exchange. Now, you'll be familiar with this if you hold EGLD, EGLD, part of the Elrond network. Maiar has been a app on your phone, which you've been able to do things like staking and get 11 to 13% APR on your staked EGLD, which I've been doing for quite a few months now, and it's been pretty good. Now, if you had eGold in your Maiar app back in April, you will have received some MEX tokens. So hopefully you've done that already, and you have some MEX in your Maiar exchange, and you can see that as well in your Maiar app. What my plan is to basically add liquidity to the exchange using my MEX, which is also known as LKMEX, which is locked MEX. And what you need to do is create a pair, so that would be LKMEX and eGold. Now, to do that, you'll need some eGold, which is unstaked in your Maiar app. So it needs to be in your wallet on your Maiar app, not staked. And unstaking takes 10 days, so you will need to do that. Anyway, I've done all this on Thursday, the 18th of November, because the exchange goes live tomorrow with all the function added, because at the moment you can't do the swap. But if you don't have any MEX, you'll be able to use the swap tomorrow, and you'll be able to swap some eGold for some MEX. But as I have some MEX already, I'm going to show you the process. Okay, so I'm logged into the Maiar exchange, and I really love how you do that. It comes up with a QR code, and you basically scan that with your Maiar app with your phone, and it logs you in, which is really cool. Now, if you were staking eGold back in the spring, like in April, you will now have received some MEX tokens, and I did. I think I got about $900 worth. So the idea now is to add liquidity to the Maiar exchange. Now, this is because Maiar is a decentralized exchange, so it works in a similar way to like PancakeSwap or Uniswap, and it relies on various pairs. In this case, it's going to be MEX and eGold. It requires people to add liquidity to the pool, which enables all the transactions to happen. This is how I understand it anyway. So I might have got this slightly wrong. I'm a little bit out of my depth here, but I'm going to try and do it. And I kind of figure the only way I'm going to learn is by just doing it. So I'm going to go to liquidity, and I want to add liquidity. So here, what it's saying is I'm going to provide this pair eGold and an LKMEX. LKMEX is the locked MEX. So basically the MEX that you got free is locked until it starts unlocking on December the 20th. If you buy MEX, which you will be able to do on Friday, the 20th of November, or rather you'll be able to swap eGold for MEX if you need some. But at the moment you can't get hold of it, so I'm going to use my locked MEX tokens to provide liquidity. So you still with me? Okay, right, so I'm going to go for max. Now obviously what it's choosing here is 3.9328 eGold. Now that is because that is probably the equivalent amount of this 6,225,000 LKMEX that I have. So if I say max there, and what I've noticed, if you're not quick, then it will say you have insufficient funds. So I might just refresh this page, and just while I've been talking, just to make sure I've got the correct amounts. In fact, I won't do that. I'm just going to go max eGold there, and I'm going to go max LKMEX there. Now this slippage, I'm going to leave that on this very low setting, so I don't lose too much, but that will slow the process down. And I'm going to go add liquidity. Okay, so I can go over to my Maiar app and confirm that there. Right, so I'm going to sign the transaction. Okay, transaction signed. Say OK. Okay, so right. So it looks like I've added liquidity. Okay, so what it says here is my liquidity. I've got EGLD MEX pair, and that's 2.9124 LP tokens. That's liquidity providing tokens, and this is given an approximate value of $1,821, which sounds about right, because if you think about it, I had about $900 worth of MEX, and I've added about $900 worth of EGLD. I just want to check that's gone from my Maiar account on my phone. So yeah, I've actually got this message on my phone saying that some EGLD was sent to a certain address, which I assume is here. Okay, so yeah, let's see what else we can do. So if I go to active pools, I can see this here, and it says, reminder, after you add liquidity, you can stake your LP tokens in a farm to earn more rewards. Okay, so let's go to my liquidity and go to stake. Okay, so I can do this where I lock your rewards for 1 year and double your rewards. You'll receive LKMEX, locked MEX, that can be used immediately to add liquidity or stake them in the MEX farm. LKMEX will be unlocked after 1 year, 17% for the first month and 16% the last two. Okay, I mean, I've seen other people on various tutorials, they do tend to click this, so let's do that. So the amount I'm going to stake in this farm, I'm just going to go max. Okay, and then I'm going to click stake and then confirm that on my phone. Okay, so that's saying adding farm stake. Farm stake added. Now I don't know how this is going to vary, but I mean, as I'm looking at this now, it seems if I go to the farm section, so I think my main active farm is this EGLD MEX one. And if I click on that 75x, it says the multiplier represents the proportion of MEX rewards each farm receives as a proportion of the MEX produced each block. A 1x farm receives 50,000 MEX per block. A 10x farm will receive 500,000 MEX per block. Okay, now well, I believe to occupy a block you need about 5 EGLD. So I'm not really totally sure how much I'm going to earn here. So if I look at the APR here, it says it's going to be APR of 4,760%, which sounds ridiculous, but let's see what happens, eh? So, all right, today is Thursday the 18th of November. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, and at the moment my earned MEX is 0. So I'll come back tomorrow and see where we are. Now, what do I do once I've earned the MEX? There are various strategies of what you can do. You can either put it back here, which is where you're staking MEX. So, for example, you would go stake there, and you could stake the MEX there. Or, I suppose what you could do is you could set up another farm, or maybe add to this one here. Let's have a look at what I could do. So, I think what you'd have to do would be go to the liquidity providing again, and then create these EGLD MEX LP pairs, and then maybe add it to this. I'm not totally sure, to be honest, but we'll have a look at that when I've got some earnings to play with. Anyway, it all seems very exciting, and yeah, if you want to get involved with Maiar, it might seem overwhelming at first, and I must admit, when I looked at a few videos on YouTube, I just thought, what on earth are they talking about? But now I've actually done it, I think I'm starting to get an idea of what it's all about, really. And if this can be another way of earning crypto, then I'm all for it. I am a massive fan of the EGLD token anyway. And I've got quite a substantial amount of it. I mean, it might sound like I'm a right baller, but what actually happened was back in the summer of 2020, I went into a trade where I bought some Elrond when it was called ERD. And the trade went quite bad because I bought like $7,000 worth, and it went down in value. It went down to about $3,000. And and I thought, well, what shall I do? Shall I cut my losses and just, sell it back into Bitcoin or something like that? But I decided to hang on to it. And then in September 2020, ERD became EGLD, and it turned out that I had about 600 EGLD. Now the price of that was really low at the time, and it went even lower. So my initial 7,000 investment was all of a sudden about $2,000, and of course recently the price of EGLD has gone up to about $300. So I've got something like $250,000 worth of EGLD. So you can see why it's of great interest to me. EGLD. I'm so pleased I hung on to it, because I did almost sell it at one point, but I think there's a lesson to be learnt there, really, is if you're holding a crypto that you actually believe in, and you think it has a good future and it's going to get adopted and used, then I think it's probably worth holding on to. I mean, Maiar and Elrond, they're a Romanian-based company, and I believe in Romania there's things like the biggest music festival there. At every stall there, you can use your Maiar app to pay for beer, food, whatever, with EGLD, which I think is really cool. EGLD transaction costs are absolutely minuscule. It's like 0.0000 something of a cent to send like thousands of dollars worth of like EGLD, and I think that's where it has a massive advantage. And I don't know, they seem to be coming out with stuff all the time. So I don't know, if you haven't got any EGLD, I'd probably get some, and maybe think about getting involved with this. So if you use the link in the description to get your Maiar app, you actually get $10 of free EGLD on your first purchase of $200 worth of EGLD. So if you buy $200 worth of EGLD, you get $10 for free. If you don't use my link, you don't get $10, so it makes sense to use it. Okay, so sorry that was a complicated one, but I think it is a little bit complicated. But it's definitely something I want to get involved with and I want to do more of. So as soon as I've got some earnings in my farm, I will do another video and update you on what I'm doing with it, if it's working or not, what I think about it, and all that. So the best thing to do is to hit the subscribe button, and while you're down there, give it a like as well, and tell your friends.